Hello friends and welcome to our next video in Salesforce. Now in this video we will see a small example that how we can show some custom error message to the user. Maybe you can have a field blank and you want to make a field mandatory. Let's say if we go to a new object, let's say we go to leads, and if I try and create a new lead, there are some fields which are by default mandatory, last name, company, lead status. But let's say you also want this facts to be mandatory. So one thing is that you can make the field mandatory from the page layout as well. But you want this to be conditional mandatory. So in those cases, you will need a trigger. Or you can do that by validation rule as well. But validation rule also have got certain limitations. You can simply go to lead and go to validation rules, and you can create a new validation rule. Let's say if you want to go ahead and check for facts. Okay, so you can simply have something like is blank facts, so it will also suffice the purpose. Okay, and you can have a conditional validation rule as well, but lot of times you might need to go for a trigger that your validation rule is not able to solve the purpose. So I will show you in a simple example how to do that. Let's say I go to lead triggers, click on new, and maybe I can name it facts mandatory on lead, and event will be before insert, because before insert, and let's also go for before update. Maybe someone is editing a record and it makes the field blank, so before update also this trigger should fire, not only while creating a record. After is insert will not be a good thing, because once a record has been inserted, then there is no point checking a field. Okay, so we will go for before insert and before update, so that on editing the record someone does not go ahead and make the field blank. Okay, so for lead L trigger dot new. Okay, trigger dot new will be the list of leads which are being inserted or being updated. L is the temporary variable which will iterate through the list trigger dot new. So you can simply say if L dot facts equals to null, or if you want you can check for blank as well. L dot facts equals to blank. So in string fields and all you can simply go for blank, but generally in lookup fields it is good practice, it is almost mandatory to check for null as well, because it might create issues for you if you do not check for null. So a lot of time what happens, people go and use lookup fields, they check for blank and they write the code, but later on the code does not run. The only thing is that you need to check for null as well. Okay, so I can simply say L dot add error. Error text could be please specify facts. So it is as simple. Let's save it. Let's say if we do not have any issue. Now let me go to this lead. Let's try saving it. Let me give some name here. And as soon as I save it, see it gives me error. Please specify facts. Okay. Now this, as I told you, this could have been achieved through validation rule as well, but there could be a custom logic. You want a custom field mandatory thing. Let's say you want to check for facts only if mobile is blank or only if phone is blank. So let us go to setup and go to lead fields, and if I go ahead and check for mobile, so the API name is mobile phone. So you want to check for facts only if mobile phone is blank. So you can simply have a if condition outside. Let's keep it blank. So you are saying that if mobile phone is blank, then check for facts, else don't do anything. We do not have anything after else. So if I go to lead, if I save it, see I told you it did not checked. So let me again go to my trigger, and let's say I check for null. Now again let me go ahead and save the lead. See, please specify facts. Okay, So it's always good practice to check for null rather than for blank. Now if I specify some value in this mobile, now if I save it, now it will get saved. Okay. So only when mobile is blank, it will check for facts. If I delete it, now if I save it, because we have written on before update as well. So on editing the record also it will work. And now if I specify facts, save, it will work. Okay. So even on inserting and as well as editing on both the cases, it will work. So these things, if you go to validation rule, so it might become a bit complex, because in validation rule, if you might to specify something like is new. What happens is that if in validation rule you want a validation rule to fire only on insert, so you can simply write is new and is blank facts. So this validation rule will only fire on inserting of record. It will not fire on updating of record because we have checked for is new. Okay. But that's a different story. But I wanted to explain you how in triggers also you can add error and you can show custom error message to your users. Okay. So I think that was all for this video. Meet you in the next video with more wonderful things. Till then, take care. Bye bye. All